This is the Strat-O-Matic Baseball Excel 1970-73 Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler YouTube channel.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to the 1970-73 Carryover League. We got a wonderful matchup today for you from the American League East. Two very proud teams during this era that called themselves the best team in all of baseball. The Boston Red Sox and the Baltimore Orioles. Their win-loss records would also suggest that they have been playing great baseball for the last few years. Of course, we know Baltimore's timeline, it makes sense. 69, 70, 71. But frankly, Boston has an outstanding roster during the same period, and if these two teams weren't in the same division, who knows? You know, I talked along about the Cincinnati Reds and Pittsburgh Pirates in an earlier video, but really, Baltimore and Boston also share this high level of respect for each other. The lineups, the starting pitching, the relief pitching, it's all there. And we have a nice, long, really competitive series to show you. Let's get started from what happened in game number 1, a series that opens up in Baltimore. This game is actually a nice win for the Orioles. Dave McNally versus Sonny Siebert. They get a couple runs in the third inning off some walks and singles. Boston comes back with an RBI double in the 6th by Carlton Fisk. A solo shot by Boog Powell, trying to get hot here. And they add a homer by Buford and a run in the 8th off of John Curtis out of relief. This is a pretty ordinary blah kind of win for the Orioles, 5-1. Boston didn't put up much of a fight in this one. But in game number 2, Red Sox trying to get a win at least one in Baltimore in this best of 7. And this is a wild one, folks. We would get a wild one with these two teams when they can finally figure out the offense. It's Mike Cuellar versus Bill Lee, a couple lefties. Yastrzemski leads off the game with a solo homer. We get a 2-run homer by Reggie Smith in the 4th. And then a real rough inning in the top of the 5th by Cuellar. Doubles, a bunch of walks, an error and a double. And it's 6-0, and we're thinking, okay, write this one off, it's a split. But the Orioles have other ideas in the bottom of the inning. As they bat around, singles, doubles, and some more walks. Both teams are great on base percentage. They make it 6-3, though with the bases loaded and 1 out, Kurt Motton and Boog Powell got out and could not get any more than those 3 runs, which would be important. Bottom of the 6th inning, it's Blair, it's Brooks Robinson putting 2 guys on for Echebarren, who hits a 3-run homer. It's 6-6, and Bill Lee is gone. So we'll have a parade of relievers for both squads. Bobby Bolin, Roger Moret for Boston, and we have Jim Harden and Bill Wilson for Baltimore. This game goes to the 11th inning, and in a dubious way, with 2 outs and a man at first base, a ground ball to Boog Powell, and he boots the ball to extend the inning, and then Rico Petrocelli on the next batter. 3-run homer off Grant Jackson. So you get the 3-run homer, all unearned runs in the top of the 11th. It's 9-6. I mean, razor edge margins here. Have to play perfect baseball, or any little mistake like that can cost you. Ground ball to first base cost Baltimore after they made a heroic comeback in the middle innings. Great fun baseball game that was. So let's go to Fenway for game 3. Can the Orioles win in Boston's park? And the answer is, oh yeah, they can. It's Jim Palmer versus Louis Tiant, who has been untouchable for 2 years in Strat until today, when he gets all touched by Johnny Oates with a solo homer. We got a couple runs in the 4th, a couple more in the 5th. They keep pecking away. Solo homer by Brooks Robinson in the 6th. But Jim Palmer's just ordinary in this game as well. This is a 5-4 game into the 8th inning between Palmer and Tiant. And after Game 2's marathon, they're pushing these two pitchers to extend the game because the bullpens are kind of tired after Game 2. Tiant gets knocked around in the 8th. They bring in John Curtis. He gets knocked around. And then Boston throws the red flag up. The white flag up, I should say. It's a 10-4 final, and Baltimore reclaims home field. So does Boston retaliate in Game 4? And the answer is, well, of course they do. Game 4, another great game here. Dave McNally on short rest against Marty Patton, acquired in the offseason from Milwaukee. They'll have him in Boston for a short stay, and then they'll ship him off to Kansas City. In this game, Orioles score first. RBI single by Roy Foster. Bottom of the 3rd, though, here we go with the defense. A single, a ground ball to Brooks Robinson should have been a double play. It's an error. Then you have a ground ball, a double scores a run, and with 2 outs, another ground ball to Brooks Robinson for his 2nd error of the inning. And we have 2 unearned runs. It's 2-1 Boston, 3-1 Boston, and a homer by Johnny Oates makes it 3-2, but that's it. Marty Patton goes 8. Gary Wagner comes in and gets a save in the 9th inning. And Dave McNally loses because of 2 errors by Brooks Robinson in the 3rd inning. So Baltimore had an odd chance to sweep the Red Sox without errors by Boog Powell and Brooks Robinson in the 2 losses. That's how tight these 2 teams are. Let's take a look then at the pivotal Game 5 in Fenway. And it's another classic. It's Sonny Siebert against Mike Cuellar. The Orioles get the early advantage 2-0 in the 2nd inning. A sac fly, RBI single with 2 outs by Roy Foster. Had a big day. Boston, an RBI triple by Jerry Moses in the 5th, makes it 2-1. Again, these teams are chipping away at each other. A triple by Al Bunbury and a sac fly. It's 3-1. But single runs in the 7th by the Red Sox on an RBI double by Moses. Then in the 8th inning of a 3-2 game, solo homer with 2 outs by Rico Petrocelli ties this thing. We will have Cuellar and Siebert go 9 innings. Siebert in his 9th inning gives up a single, and that's about it. But in the bottom of the 9th, Cuellar loses control here. He walked 5 on this day. He would walk Reggie Smith. He'd walk John Kennedy. And with Doug Griffin and Abe Bunner, he bunts the guys in a scoring position, and then we get a Jerry Moses fly B question mark. He's got 3 of the 4 RBI. He gets the sac fly here. It is a Reggie Smith running against Paul Blair. 1-16 runner. 1-17, 18, minus the Blair arm of 1-16. I think he rolled a 10 or a 12, and the game ends on a sac fly to Paul Blair in center field, and that is how tight this series has been. It was 2-2, 2 games apiece. In Game 5, it was 3-3 in the 8th inning of Game 5, and the difference of the series thus far is a sac fly in the 9th inning of Game 5. So, we have Game 6 for you in Baltimore. Let's get rid of Game 6 in Baltimore. And we are going to have Bill Lee against Milt Pappas, making his first appearance in the series. Milt Pappas was reacquired from the Orioles, pitched for them in the 60s, but he was reacquired. What they decided to do was move Pat Dobson to the Phillies to get Grant Jackson and have Milt Pappas go into Pat Dobson's 20-game winner spot of 1971. And it's been okay. Let's get started from Baltimore. Leading off, Angel Bravo for the Red Sox. 48 is a single. The Red Sox decided to put some of their lefties on the bench in this game against Pappas, who's better against righties. And Bravo responds with a single off the Pappas card. Mike Andrews. 39 is single ... Runners on the corners for Yastrzemski. 4-4 off the Pappas card. It's Homer automatically 3-0 Boston. Well, what a quick start for the Red Sox. Carlton Fisk, 2-9, grounds to short. Reggie Smith, 66, pops to first. And Tommy Harper, 6'11", bounces to first. This is Boog Powell. He makes the play. Well, obviously a very rusty Milt Pappas, since Cuellar, Palmer, McNally all pitch on 3 days rest, and they seldom use Pappas. And the rust puts his team down 3-zip. The Orioles are going to have to hope that they are very good against left-handed pitching, and Bill Lee is good. I mean, he's a good pitcher. He's not an amazing pitcher, so we'll see what happens here. Bobby Grich, 49, pops to second. Don Buford, 2-8, is a single. B. Steeler being held on for Roy Foster, batting third against lefties. He was batting cleanup, batting fifth, batting sixth, batting eighth. He'd been all up and down the Oriole lineup. Roy Foster, 48, pops to first. And with 2 outs, it's Kurt Motton. 57 is a grounder to second. But Andrews is a 40-34. The slick fielding Doug Griffin is on the bench today. But Andrews makes the play. Again, for most of the series, Boston's been facing lefties and Baltimore's been facing righties. It's flipped today, and I'd give the Red Sox a slight advantage for that flip. Rico Petrocelli, 2-7's a single. Larry Stahl, 5'11", second X. Davey Johnson's a 2-8 at second base. And that is a 4-6-3 double play. John Kennedy, 48, single 1-8. It's a base hit. 2 outs for Bravo. Let's take a look at the Angel Bravo card. This gentleman played for the 1970 Reds. Pinch hitter with a 277 batting average. Red Sox wanted an extra bat on their team on the bench in case they faced a righty who's tough against righties, like today. And he singles to right field, and it's 2 for 2. 2 on, 2 outs from Mike Andrews. 3-6. Let's take a look at Andrews' card now. Andrews, his defense really fell apart here, which is why Doug Griffin was needed to caddy for him. Griffin, however, has gotten a lot of playing time because Boston has preferred the defense of Griffin versus the offense of Andrews. But 3-6 here is single 1-8, and he rolls a 9 and lines out. So Pappas, kind of rocky start here. 6 hits and 3 runs. Bottom of 2. Here's Boog Powell, 48. Sky's the center. Paul Blair, 2-7, is a base hit in the right field. Fisk has a great throwing arm in his rookie year, -3 here, and so Blair will not attempt to steal. Brooks Robinson, 46, Sky's the right. Etchebarren, 1-3, pops to second. We go to the third. Yastrzemski, 67, lines the second. Carlton Fisk, 67, K. Reggie Smith, 1-6, grounds the second base. Finally a good inning for Pappas. We go to the bottom of the third. It's Davey Johnson, 56 is a K. Bobby Grich, 47, pops to third. Don Buford, 6'10", short X. This is Petrocelli, 324. It's going to be a base hit. Both shortstops are just okay defensively. Petrocelli a 324, Bobby Grich a 326. So, with the man on at first and 2 outs, it's Roy Foster. 65 off of Bill Lee's card is double 1-7, a base hit. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Your tie run is Kurt Motton. Let's take a look at the Kurt Motton's card. Kind of an all or nothing card here in 71 for the Orioles. And this is the Earl Weaver mantra of pitching and defense and the 3-run homer. And that's what they're hoping for here out of Motton with 2 outs and 2 on. The pitch to Kurt. 1-9 is a grounder to short. We go to the fourth. Tommy Harper, 67 is a K. Rico Petrocelli, 65, center. Larry Stahl, 48, is a base hit in the right. John Kennedy, 45 for Kennedy, triple 1-2, single dot. Runners on the corners, 2 outs for Angel Bravo here, who could be a folk hero if he comes through again. for the Red Sox, but 1-7 is a K. We go to the bottom of the fourth for Boog Powell. 34, grounds to second. Paul Blair, 412, flies to left. And Brooks Robinson, 510, catcher's card. Now, Fizzle's got an E16. A lot of catchers, and it's a rookie. He makes the play here. A solid 4 innings from Bill Lee. And Boston has a 3-0 lead into the fifth. Mike Andrews, 1-5 is a walk. Yastrzemski, 48, another single off the Pappas card. Earl Weaver's getting nervous here. He's got a fantastic bullpen. There's no reason to constantly be in trouble in a potential elimination game. But you have Fisk a righty, Smith a lefty, and then 2 more righties. Pretty much really need to get Fisk out here. 62, pitcher B. Runners in the corners, Reggie Smith. They're going to bring it up, down 3-zip. 66 is a pop to first, and with 2 outs, he will pitch to Tommy Harper. 3-6 is a walk. Bases loaded, 2 outs. And you got Petrocelli and probably the last batter here. Bases loaded, 2 outs. He's right-handed against Pappas. Let's take a look at Petrocelli's card. If you recall last year, we had the end of the 1969 magical card for Petrocelli. So this is a 70 card, and it's funny, it looks like a step down, but statistically, every team in baseball would love to have this guy. 261 with 29 home runs. But of course, in 69 he had 40 home runs and was a 2E16 as short. So, bases loaded, 2 outs, no bigger moment now. Rico Petrocelli, the pitch. 58 off of Pappas, flies to left field, and oh my goodness, he is wiggled off the hook again. He has put 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 men on in 5 innings. Boston may regret only scoring 3 times thus far, as they had a 6-0 lead in game 2, and the Orioles came back and tied that thing. And here we are in the bottom of the 5th. Andy Etchebarren, 45, skies the center. Davey Johnson, 2-7, grounds the third. And with 2 outs, it's Bobby Grich. 56 for Grich is a K. Bill Lee, first big start of the year. He was in the bullpen last year. They upgraded to his 1973 card because he can pitch on 3 days rest, and he's delivering the best start of the year for his Red Sox. All right, Larry Stahl in the 6th. 410, center X. This is Blair. Makes the catch. Pappas could really use a 3-up and 3-down inning to right the ship here. John Kennedy skies the center. And Angel Bravo looking for his 3rd hit. 1-8, he Ks. Now they could be clever here with a 3-0 lead, and they're going to pull Bravo. They got the 3 plate appearances and got 2 hits. They're happy with that. They're going to put Doug Griffin at second base and make Andrews your DH, figuring that now the Orioles, better defense against the Orioles, makes it harder for them to come back. Don Buford leads off the bottom of the 6th inning. 2-8 is a single. Roy Foster, 1-8. Let's take a look at Roy Foster's card. Interesting player. This is a 1970 card. He was involved in that Frank Robinson trade with Cleveland. The idea was they wanted to open an outfield spot for Al Bunbury by moving Frank Robinson, and they simply swapped designated hitters. Danny Walton was their DH last year. Now it's Roy Foster. He's a little bit better, and he's got a -2 arm. Nice card. His shelf life is pretty much over after this year, though, so kind of a 1-year rental for the Orioles. But 1-8 is a walk. 2 on. Same situation as the 3rd inning for Kurt Motton here. Looking for the 3-run bomb to tie this game. The pitch to Kurt Motton. 39, he'll get the walk. And the bases are loaded. Lee's a starter 8, and he's going to have to figure this one out. Blair, Boog Powell, Paul Blair, and Brooks Robinson. Nothing happening in Boston's bullpen yet. Boog Powell. 1-4, misses the grand slam by 1 roll. It's center B question mark, but you're hitting it to Reggie Smith and a -4 arm. So as fast as Buford is, a 16 runner, 17-18. He is not going to tag up because they do have the bases loaded. They figure they're probably going to get one run anyway. He's not going to risk making that a double play. He'll hold up. If you're wondering about this decision, the home team, I let them run at my discretion. The road team has to run on a 14 or better. It's a constant for the road team, a variable for the home team, and I'm electing to hold the runner with Paul Blair up, down 3. Only a double play would look bad now. The pitch to Paul Blair. 3-6, let's take a look at Paul Blair's card. Homer 1/18, it is gone! A grand slam by Paul Blair, and clearly that was the right move in that particular situation, to not get thrown out the plate when the next batter was going to hit a grand slam. I wish managing was this easy, but yeah, you get ridiculously lucky every once in a while, folks. A grand slam by Paul Blair, and suddenly it's 4-3. Bill Lee's discouraged, but again, he's a starter 8. He's going to have to battle through this. He's pitched excellent up until now. Brooks Robinson, 35's a walk. If they bat around, we'll hook him as broken. 1 out, man at first for Echebarren. 62, skies the shallow center, and it's Davy Johnson. 111 flies to left. So it is 4-3, and now you have a great opportunity to get Pappas out of there, so he doesn't lose this game. He is good against righties, not against lefties. Andrews is a righty. Yaz is a lefty. There's no defense for the Orioles to bring in. In the top of the 7th inning, Pappas will pitch to Andrews, and then they'll probably pull him. Mike Andrews, 55, short X. This is Grich. Has been a little shaky at shortstop this series. And he boots the ball. I'm telling you, folks, these two teams play these tight, strategic baseball games constantly. Andrews is a 13 runner, and he could be pulled for a better one, but there is none. And unfortunately, well, Pappas will leave. He's not happy leaving this game, but he will. He'll leave after 6 in that batter. And you have your Yastrzemski, Fisk, and Smith. And they're going to go to Bill Wilson, acquired in the Grant Jackson trade. They ended up sending 20-game winner Pat Dobson to the Phillies for Bill Wilson and Grant Jackson. And the Phillies also got a draft token, I believe, in that one. But Bill Wilson in the 7th, outstanding against lefties, as you can see, will face Carl Yastrzemski. The pitch to Carl Yastrzemski. 1-9 is a single to right field. Andrews will hold at second. 2 on, nobody out for Fisk. 1-10 for Fisk is a base hit in the right field, and oh my goodness, we got some trouble here in the top of the 7th inning. The bases are loaded for Reggie Smith. What do you do if you're Baltimore here? If you bring the infield up, you can get a 1-2-3 or a 4-2-3 double play, but you can also give up a 2 single if he smacks it through the infield. Oh, they're going to risk it, the biscuit, and they're going to bring it up for Reggie Smith. Careful, this guy can hit a wicked line drive right at you. So they're going to bring it up for Reggie Smith here in a 4-3 game. The pitch to Reggie. 1-3, center B question mark. Now, Andrews, no, he can't do it. He's a 13 runner, plus 2 makes 15, but you got Paul Blair and a -2 arm. Oddly enough, it was Reggie Smith, if he was a base runner, could have run. That's how they won Game 4. So that's not a sac fly attempt. It's a long fly ball to center field. Now with 1 out, looking at the number of ground ball Bs on Tommy Harper's card, they're going to keep the infield up for Tommy Harper. Now with 2 righties here, you could go to Dick Hall instead of Bill Wilson. But frankly, Bill Wilson's just as good as Dick Hall, so they'll leave him in there. Tommy Harper, the infield up, the base is loaded. Let's take a look at Tommy Harper's card, by the way. This is actually, my goodness, He was a Milwaukee Brewer in 1970 with this card. He eventually gets traded to the Red Sox. And, you know, like the Red Sox need more riches to their offense, they get a 31-homer left fielder here. The pitch to Tommy Harper. 57 is a K, and with 2 outs, it is Rico Petrocelli, who has wreaked some havoc on the Orioles with a home run, a game-ending home run in Game 2, and a home run in Game 5 that tied the game. He's been a thorn in the Orioles side. We saw the Petrocelli card earlier. So here we are. Bases loaded, 2 outs. The pitch to Rico Petrocelli. 47 is a clean single into center field. 1 run scores Yaz to give the Red Sox a lead. He's a 14-runner, 15-16. -2, 1-14. He can run, so we'll look here for the result. And he's thrown out on a 19, and we got a tie game. What a thriller. Another thriller with these 2 clubs. So, Andrews scores. Yaz gets thrown out at the plate. The inning is over. It is 4-4. In the bottom of the 7th inning, Lee is taken off the hook. Pappas has a no decision. Lee's still in the game, though. They could go to a righty. And I think they're going to do it. They're going to pull Bill Lee. They're going to kind of match the Orioles like a chess game here. Both pitchers will leave with no decisions. The back of Boston's bullpen's outstanding. Gary Wagner, Roger Moret. The front part, John Curtis and Bobby Bolin, not so much. But here's Bobby Bolin to face some righties in this inning. Let's take a look at Bolin. For some reason, he pitched well in the 60s, then he missed some years and came back with his 1973 card. Bobby Bolin in the 7th. Top of the Oriole lineup, Bobby Grich. 5'10", catcher's card. Remember, Fisk makes a lot of errors. He's a 2016 catcher, but he makes the play. Don Buford. 1-7 is a K, and with 2 outs, Roy Foster. 1-4, grounds to short. 4-4 into the 8th. Bill Wilson will continue. Larry Stahl. 1-4, grounds the 2nd. John Kennedy. 1-7 is a K. And with 2 outs, it's the new leadoff hitter, Doug Griffin. 37 is a single. And with 2 outs and a man on, it's Mike Andrews. Reached on an error, another costly error that hurt the Orioles. That's 4 of them in this series that have all hurt. Mike Andrews, 3-11, grounds are short. 4-4 in the bottom of the 8th. So Martin is coming to the plate, but they're going to announce the pinch hitter, as he will not bat against a right-handed pitcher in this situation. And they're going to go straight to Al Bumbry, at which point Bolin will be gone. And the Red Sox will follow in the 8th with Roger Moret. A lot of cards to show you here. Let's start with Roger Moret. Was in the rotation last year with this outstanding card of 1971. 2.92 ERA, but it was only in 71 innings. And they felt that flipping him and Bill Lee would help them this year, as Lee can pitch on 3 days rest. So Moret's back into the bullpen here. And for the Orioles, let's show you their 1973 American League Rookie of the Year, Al Bumbry, the guy that got the Frank Robinson trade talks started. They wanted to go youth in the outfield, and so Bumbry takes Frank Robinson's spot here with a 73 card where it's 337. And Frank Robinson's doing very well for the Cleveland Indians right now. So, 4-4 tie in the bottom of the 8th inning. Another fantastic game with these 2 squads. Leading off, Al Bumbry. 46 off Moret. His double, 1-10 fly ball, and he cannot get it. It's a fly ball. Hey, your Boog pal. 35, single 1-6, and he does get it. He gets the 3. We have a man on for Paul Blair, who had the grand slam. The fans give him an ovation as he walks to the plate. He is the Baltimore offense to this point. The pitch to Paul Blair. 47 off Moret is single 1-12. He gets that one. So the Orioles get 2 of the 3 hit rolls, but the one they missed was the most important one, the double. But they have first and second with 1 out, and it's Brooks Robinson. 4-4, Brooks Robinson off the Roger Moret card. Homer 1-2-16. It's gone. A 3-run homer for Brooks Robinson in the bottom of the 8th inning. And he redeems himself for those errors in Fenway, and the Orioles now have a 7-4 lead, and suddenly Grant Jackson and Dick Hall get up in the Baltimore pen as they see Game 7 on the horizon. Andy Etchebarren, 58, second X. Doug Griffin, a 1-19, makes the play. Davey Johnson, 110, skies the center. And that is your inning. And that is your Earl Weaver pitching defense and the 3-run homer, or the grand slam in this case. 2 bad pitches by Red Sox pitchers here. And we have a 7-4 game in the 9th. It'll be Yaz, Fisk, and Smith. Now, normally you would think you have to go Grant Jackson here. He is the guy you went out in the offseason to acquire for his magnificent card of 1973. 8-0 with a .190 ERA. My goodness. And the Orioles were weak at left-handed reliever in the last few years, and no longer. They have a finisher joining Dick Hall at the back end. 7-4 in the 9th. It'll be Yastrzemski to lead things off. 47 is a K. Carlton Fisk. 311 is a walk. And it's Reggie Smith. 1-6 is a 5-4-3 double play. We'll have a Game 7 in Baltimore. What a thrilling series this has been. Narrow margins, strategies used and executed. Boy, 2 teams that hope both get to the playoffs as a wild card and a division winner. Probably will be. Grant Jackson gets the save, a walk and a K. Bill Wilson gets the win. He came in and gave up 4 hits and 2 Ks. Not a shining effort. Milt Pappas ends up with a no decision. 9 hits and 4 runs. 3 were earned. And you look at the big swings. The 3-run homer in the first, grand slam in the 6th, 3-run homer in the 8th. 3 big swings in this game. 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Roger Moret. Normally he had been super reliable for the Red Sox. This is the first time I've seen him get knocked around for 3 runs in an inning. Really, the first time I think he's failed in his 2 years with the Red Sox. Bolin struck out a guy in his inning. Billy was pulled. You might have said he was pulled too soon, but he did. All that damage did happen in the 6th inning there. The grand slam, of course, was all earned. 1019, 0108, 79413, 79413, 3733, 3337. Forgot to mention our 7th inning stretch music. I normally do that. Forgot to do it. And we have been listening to Crack the Sky live at the Warner Theater from I think 1975 or 6. Crack the Sky, a band played in Maryland a lot during the 70s, supporting the Orioles in this effort. So that was game 202, game 6 of a thrilling series, an early season thrilling series. I'd like to see the Orioles and Red Sox meet again in the postseason or in the postseason tournament or the playoffs. But a team will have bragging rights in Game 7, which I will play and give you the results at the end of this video. Frankly, the loser, it's not that big a deal. Yeah, sure, they want to beat their rival, but both teams are in pretty good standing right now. So presently, we are at where we were when we started. We're right back where we started from, to quote Maxine Nightingale. The Red Sox a half game in front of the Orioles, 9-4, hitting .267 with a .385 ERA. The ERA has climbed during this series. And Baltimore hitting just .242, but a .245 team ERA. Some interesting numbers. Jim Palmer is 4-0, while McNally is 1-2. Grant Jackson, for a reliever this early in the season, already has 2 wins, 1 loss, and 3 saves. And they've only played 16 games. It's a lot of options there. Oddly enough, this Baltimore bullpen has just given up 1 earned run in the Grant Jackson loss. The other 3 Baltimore relievers had not given up a run. Dick Hall has not given up a hit. For the hitting stars of the Orioles, there's not many stars because they're hitting .242. Boston, on the other hand, Sonny Siebert having another nice year. Their closer, Gary Wagner, has 4 saves. Offensively for the Sox, the leading home run hitter is Rico Petrocelli with 5 homer and 16 RBI, hitting .340, picking up where he left off even with a different card, leading the Red Sox. And the league through 202 games is hitting .263 with a .393 team ERA. Thanks for checking out this great series. We'll have the results of Game 7 at the end, and we'll see you next time. Well, baseball fans, Game 7 was a classic, and this game will be filled with regrets for the Boston Red Sox. Probably a typical game for the era. Shooting themselves in the foot, the Red Sox. Let's just kind of go through what's going on in games, what happened in Game 7. Palmer versus Louis Tiant, rematch. Jim Palmer in the first inning. A 2-run homer by Yastrzemski, a solo home run by Fisk. It's 3-0. You know, just like last game with Milt Pappas, the Red Sox come out hot. Bottom of the inning, an error by Petrocelli sets up a 2-run homer by Bunbury. Boston's lead is cut to 3-2. But then in the second inning, they have Palmer on the ropes again. A single, and then Mike Andrews, a 3-run homer. We are batters away of breaking Jim Palmer, who's just given up 6 runs. A single, and then an out. And then in the third inning, Palmer settles into a groove. And the mistake, the Red Sox could not knock Palmer out of this thing early. He settles into a groove, and he continues throughout the game, giving up just two singles in the last 7 innings. Meanwhile, Louis Tiant, his defense has completely deserted him. 6-2 lead in the bottom of the 5th. He makes an error. And then they get a sac fly to make it 6-3. And then a 2-base error on Tommy Harper makes it 6-4. Unbelievable. Bottom of the inning, the Orioles put 2 guys on. And now we get another error. The 4th error of the game. This one's off John Kennedy. A single and a sac fly. This game's tied at 6. Unbelievable. 6-6 tie. The Orioles again come back in these middle innings. But it's the gifts. The gifts that keep giving. Petrocelli, Tommy Harper, Louis Tiant, and John Kennedy. 4 errors to enable the Baltimore comeback. Something the Red Sox may regret in the postseason and playoffs, as the Orioles will win this game, as you'll see. Bottom of the 7th inning, a single. Then Bunbury hits one in the left field, no error, just a double off of Tommy Harper, who has good range, but it's a double. And then Tiant gets pulled, yet his defense has cost him clearly. He gets to the dugout, throws his glove, he's ticked off, he's not happy. Can't even continue to get himself off the hook. And again, we get a sac fly with 2 outs. We've seen or a sac fly to score the lead run. We've seen a lot of sac flies in this series. And the battle on this sac fly was Al Bunbury, a 17-runner, against Reggie Smith, a -4 arm center fielder. And Bunbury barely beat the tag. 7-6. Jim Palmer's left in there. The theory is if once he puts a couple guys on, we'll get him out. Because he was in there for a loss. We got him off the hook, so don't let him lose now. But Palmer dominates, continues to give up just a single in the last 5 innings of this game. 3 up and 3 down in the 9th. Your final score in an amazing 7-game series between the Orioles and Red Sox is 7-6. Jim Palmer's final line in a complete game: 9 hits, 6 runs, again, all in the first 2 innings. Just a walk and 2 Ks. Louis Tiant in 6 1/3 gave up 7 hits and 7 runs. Only 3 of those were earned. And that's it for Game 7. Baltimore wins Game 1. Boston wins Game 2. Baltimore wins Game 3. Boston wins Game 4 and 5. And the Orioles win Games 6 and 7. Remarkable series earlier in the year. Thanks for checking it out. We'll see you next time.